I said 3 years from now, we will be in Wisconsin very little. And she was the problem. Now she's not the problem anymore. She's like, I don't want to go back home.
Because now there is your home.
Just wish there were more of those days. Is 15 perfect days? Is that about right for Wisconsin?
I mean, if you wanted to be,
because Gabe, you're not having your first perfect day until close to July.
I mean, in June. In June, you'll have those.
Nah, you'll get a smattering before then.
Like, if you want it to get as warm as 85, yeah. But I don't care.
85 is not warm.
It doesn't need to be.
What's the matter with you people? It's not warm.
It doesn't need to be that warm. 75 is the perfect temperature.
You just said 85 was your threshold. You just said 85 was your bar.
I said that's the perfect day. 85, light breeze.
Feels a little steamy
low
to me,
humidity.
honestly.
Yeah, 80. I mean, yes, 85. I don't know if we get. Yeah, maybe it's 15. If you drop that number down to 75, which is the perfect temperature, which is again, I believe San Diego is 75 just about every single day of the year, and that's where everybody bases their perfect temp off of. Yeah, if you drop that down to 75, it's a lot more than 15.
What is the perfect temperature, though?
75 here is a coat. That's a coat.
Yeah, because you're soft.
Yeah, I admit.
SAWFT.
Yeah.
Soft.
Well, now that we agree on that, Chewy.
75 is a coat? What are you, crazy? Insane?
Angie would be wearing a coat in 75.
That is insane. Yes, there's no question about that. That is nutso. 75 is beautiful. 75 is gorgeous. I think you're an analogy, your metaphor, your whatever of San Diego and the weather in San Diego and how many people point to that as like perfect.
Yeah.
That fits. Yeah, but Chew, it wasn't all, rainbows and butterflies. Because you got to go through the old airport. It sounds like the old airport. It was Chewy versus the airport, and the airport won.
Why are these small airports in the TSA there just the way they are? It took me, now, beautiful airport, just did it 4 gates. 4 gates. I don't know, have you guys been to Key West? Brand new,
have not.
4 gates, beautiful. And they just, does TSA have priority? So if 2 people come up, TSA, there's only 1 person checking because there's like 6 people there, right? Does it, or is it you go, next person goes?
Are you talking about pre-check?
Pre-check.
Because TSA is the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like all the people.
If you have TSA pre.
Like the airport would also have to have the lines to accommodate. Like, so if you go to a larger airport, obviously there are lines like, oh, you go to this line if you're just, the regular person like me. If you have TSA pre-check, go here, or clear, go here. Like they have the 3 different lines. If you're going to as small of an airport as you're describing, I'm guessing they're like your TSA pre-check means nothing there. Like everybody's just going in the same line.
Yeah. There's 1 person checking the IDs, TSA pre-check, and non-TSA. So it was a female who wanted everyone to know she was in charge. So me and Angie are sitting there, first in line at the
Jen.
TSA pre-check.
I just want to make sure we're clear on that.
Yeah. And there's people just keep coming, sprinkling 2 people. She would let them go. Then another 3 people would come up, and me and Angie are sitting there, and I'm like, she's like, what is she doing?
Wait, people are just cutting the line?
No, Gabe, I'm in the TSA pre.
Okay.
You know how you don't have TSA pre?
Yeah.
You go on this line.
Yep.
TSA pre is in the other line.
Yep.
One lady checking IDs. Right? Yeah, people would walk up to the regular. And I said to Angie, she's like, what's wrong with her? I said, she's showing us that she's in charge. That's what she's doing.
I do think that's wrong, though, Chew. I do think that she was wrong. I think the whole point of having TSA pre-check is that you get preferred treatment, and that when you step into line, your separate line, as long as there is a separate line, you're supposed to be accommodated after the person they are currently attending to. That's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah, I don't have a problem 1 for 1. That's not a big deal.
Yeah, I think it's one. If it's just one person, I think it's probably 1 for 1.
It was clearly showing us I'm in charge, and I'll call you up when I want. I'm like, whatever.
Okay, so what happened next?
You're the crowd. So then we go all new technology. They just built a new, they got the MRI machine to check your bags. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The big, long tube. So they have all the top of the end.
Is that not an X-ray?
Yeah, I was just going to let it go. He was cooking.
Yeah. So then there are more bags going for the guy to go through your bag who is not the sharpest tool in the shed, you know? And it's probably, we're 8 deep to get our bag checked by this guy. And I'm like, you know, I'm kind of laughing at the whole thing. I'm like, are you kidding me? There's 7 people here, and every one of their bags with the new technology is going. So he had to go through my bag. A watch. They're like, oh, it was this watch that was setting it off. An Apple Watch. I'm like, really? I said, Ange, wait till he gets to you. This is going to be great.
No, don't make it.
Because she was like 9. No joke there?
No joke there.
I'd have let it go.
No,
I thought it was,
no.
I got a good laugh, though, out of the line. Because everyone was as frustrated as I was. And I'm like, Ange, this box of rocks here is going to go back to Nancy and go, is this lube okay to get through here? And I got a great laugh out of everyone. Because this is how ridiculous it was.
So
Because
I
if
got to
you
tell you
were
something,
in-
too. I got to tell you
Yeah.
something. I think this goes back to the old expectations versus reality conundrum we always find ourselves in. Because you are at a small airport with, you know, you said beautiful, great, wonderful, new, all the technology. Your expectation was that it would go quickly. And I think that that's for most people, right? But the reality is the size of the airport has nothing to do with the ease of getting through TSA.
No, you know what I think it was, Jen? And this is the first thing that went through my mind. This is the cop pulling Scotty Scheffler over at the U.S. Open.
Yep, makes sense to me.
We all know those kind of cops. And this is clearly what it was. This is my airport.
Little
I don't
power
care
trip.
if you miss your flight. We're doing it my way. And you just got to roll with it. That's
Should have
why I
got
thought-
here earlier. Should have got here earlier. You're supposed
Yeah.
to get here an hour before your flight, at least 2 hours, I think is what they say. But, you know,
Sometimes
That's why.
you subtract time off.
That's why making the jokes was the only appropriate thing to do.
I don't
you
know if
know?
it was the appropriate thing to do. It was
Oh,
clearly,
I don't care.
mean,
I'm like,
it was the fun thing to do.
I swear there were 6 people, and it took me 20 minutes to get through there.
Hmm.
Gabe, that's no exaggeration.
So I think, honestly, and I guess you guys would know, and Jen would probably know more than any of us because she travels the most. It seems to me, based on, because I've been to a couple of small airports, but the problem is it's just a manpower issue. They just don't have enough people. Like, it's a small airport, and they're not going to hire a lot of people because it
Oh,
doesn't
they
make
had
sense
plenty.
for them to, right? So I think mid-size airports are the quickest ones to get through. Like Milwaukee, like you get a
Is a
city,
breeze.
you know, like Milwaukee is a breeze because it's big enough where they got to have a lot of people, but you can just fly through there because, yeah, there are going to be some, you know, a couple of longer flights and all those sorts of things. It's big enough, but then you get to the huge airports, there's so many people, it's going to be tough to get through. I think the mid-size airports are the quickest ones to get through.
I think that's a great point by you. I did pull up a list, as we love to do lists here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. The 5 airports with the best average TSA security wait times. And to me, Gabe, this goes back to what you said about manpower. Salt Lake City International, number 1. I've flown through Salt Lake City a number of times. It is a big frickin' airport.
Yeah?
It's a BFA. The walk time from one end to another, upwards of 30 to 40 minutes. Walk time from one end to another, okay? But you can get through TSA real quick. They say that the average time, average security wait time, now again, I believe this is not TSA pre-check. This is just regular old, I'm going to the airport on a random day, not holidays, 9 minutes. 9 minutes from the time you step in line till the time you're on the other side of TSA. That seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Washington Dulles is number 2 at 10.5 minutes, so 10 and a half minutes to get you through TSA. Boston Logan International, which is a pretty big airport, is
yeah.
number 3 on this list. And that says you can get through in 10.6 minutes. Minneapolis St. Paul, 13 minutes to get through TSA. I've been through Minneapolis. I've never gone through TSA in Minneapolis.
Okay, you've always had like the layover or whatever, so you haven't had to go through
Right.
the line
Yeah,
again.
maybe I've been to Minneapolis once, maybe twice. Seemed very easy, though. This I disagree with wholly, entirely. With every ounce of my being, I disagree with number 5 on this list. Charlotte Douglas International Airport. Here's the issue with Charlotte, Chew. Charlotte is so big, and it has outgrown its infrastructure so quickly that your point, Gabe, about the ratio of people to employees, way off. Way off. There are so many people now flying through Charlotte Douglas International Airport. I've had some of my longest wait times there because they don't have the manpower to handle the traffic that is now going through. Maybe when people weren't going to Charlotte as regularly, maybe when people didn't live there. But now it says, according to this article, 13.2 minutes in their security lines. I've never waited less than 13 minutes, and I have TSA PreCheck at Charlotte. Maybe it's just a bad experience. Detroit getting a honorable mention
Detroit's
on this
good.
list.
Yeah, Detroit's a good.
I don't know if I've ever waited 15 minutes in Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee?
Never.
I can't believe Milwaukee's not on that list.
By the time, when I give the lady my ID in Milwaukee, I am through. I have my bag, and I would say a minute and a half.
Guys, I have timed it with my clock on my phone. From my car in the parking lot to my gate, I've made it in 8 minutes.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Which, again,
and that's probably like even the walkway coming out of the garage. The walkway's down, so you got to hoof it on foot.
that's why I always tell people, like, when they're like, oh, you travel so much. I'm like, yeah, but I go through Milwaukee. It's a breeze. Absolute breeze. People are going to learn about that if they are traveling to Milwaukee this week to get to the NFL draft, which is in Green Bay. I think a lot of people will be flying into Milwaukee and then either carring it or shuttling it, or I think a lot of people, that's how they're planning on getting up to the big event this weekend. Well, Chew, I'm very sorry that you had a tough time at the old airport this weekend.
It was fine. I got good laughs out of the jokes, so I was fine.
Chewy was annoying until he let the joke go. He's got a little Costanza in him that way. The joke hits and everything else is fine.
Let's put on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll this morning about TSA wait times. What is the time that you get to the airport and you're like, I am willing to wait this long from the time I step in the TSA line till the time I get on the other side? Because I think for most people in your head, you factor in 15, right? You're like 15 minutes. If I'm here for 15, when we go to Orlando and it is the busy season and everybody's bringing their kids down to Disney, I'll even say 25, 30. I'll even say because all of the families are there. They don't travel as often. There's going to be that,
Yeah, if you're traveling on one of the holidays, if you're traveling on Thanksgiving, if you're traveling around Christmas, I think you got to factor in a little bit more time. Spring break, if you're going somewhere warm, like you said, Jen, but typical Wednesday at Milwaukee.
I found something interesting you said there. Willing to wait. It feels like I have to be willing to wait however long they determine. Because I got to go.
Yeah, you're not skipping the flight.
I can't say, my line's too long. I'll come.
15 minutes is up. I'm out of the line. Sorry, I thought I was going to make it. Not going to make it.
Also makes it that much more frustrating. There is just nothing you can do. You're just at the whims, the will.
Yes.
Sometimes the lines aren't open all the way, and you're just stuck staring like, well, here I am. 6 a.m., and for some reason, they decided they're only going to open one lane today.
But if you were there an hour in advance of your flight, Joshy, and they don't get you through, I think you got a legit complaint. I think that would go somewhere, right? If you're saying like, no, I was here an hour before my flight was scheduled to depart, and TSA just took its sweet A time getting me through, I think they would get reprimanded. I think that there would be some sort of...
No, there we go. We tell you to get here 2 hours before. That's on you. That's what they would do.
Some people might. And then you'd say, sure, I know what it says. What do most people do?
I think you'd be surprised that a lot of people are there 2 hours before.
I think people who don't fly very often and are like nervous flyers.
Which I would think is most people, wouldn't you?
I will tell you this. Jess Sims, who I work with on College Game Day, she is notoriously to the airport 2 hours ahead of time. And then, I know. I know, Chew. Just saying it out loud, I'm like, because I can't imagine just having that much disposable time, if I'm being honest.
Well, not everyone's an adrenaline junkie like you and has to get their kicks by sprinting across airports across the country.
I would say the perfect amount of time before they start boarding is 20 minutes, right? 20 minutes.
22, tomato. But she likes to sashay her way through the airport and grab a drink at the bar. And
if she's got time, she wants to live that stress-free existence.
That's what she says. She says because she loves herself, so she gets to the airport 2 hours ahead of time. All right, we're all warmed up. That's the stretch this morning here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Lots of stuff to get to. I do think we have to talk about the Bucks at some point, even though woof on that game this weekend. Woof. on the Bucks' performance against the Pacers in Game 1 of the postseason. But maybe there's good news on the horizon. It sounds like Dame Lillard may be back. I'm trying to manifest that a little bit with my hat this morning. And we do have the NFL draft. We are getting more information about maybe the direction the Packers will go, the direction, guys who will be there, guys who won't be there. We will break it all down on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning. Stick around.
Let me tell you about our good friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Of course, Jen was just talking about the draft. There's lots of buzz surrounding the draft, but you're never going to find that draft seeping through one of Pella's windows and doors. You should be making Pella your number one pick, because right now you can take advantage of no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades. We have loved Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin here at ESPN Milwaukee for years, and there's clearly a reason. The great people that work over there, the great innovations they have with their windows, the customizable options that they have, and they are going to take care of you from start all the way to completion. They're never going to leave you hanging at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Certain restrictions do apply. Deal ends April 30th, so place your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Northbound on 41, backing up out of the zoo interchange all the way up past North Avenue. The lane closures for the road work coming up the works a bit there. Also seeing delays right past Burleigh and then again north of Capitol Drive to Hampton. On eastbound 94, you're seeing delays from about 70th Street all the way to Hawley Road. And then northbound 43 getting a bit heavier right past the Locust area. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, isolated showers. It'll be windy, some sun later on this afternoon, a high of 54. Tonight, mostly clear, not as windy, a low of 39. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazagon, 94.5 ESPN.
Introducing the newest carbless flavor, Mango Vodka. Flavored with the essence of the ripest, freshest mangoes, carbless mango vodka will transport your taste buds to a sunny beach getaway. New flavor, still the same carbless crafted cocktails with 0 carbs, 0 sugars, and only 100 calories. Enjoy a refreshing vodka cocktail without the guilt. 4-packs of the new carbless mango vodka cocktail are available in stores near you. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and escape with every sip.
Brought to you by the Capital One Savor Card. With Savor, you earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining, entertainment, and at grocery stores. That's unlimited cash back on ordering takeout from home or unlimited cash back on tickets to concerts and games. So grab a bite, grab a seat, and earn unlimited 3% cash back with the Savor Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Thanks, Ernie. I'm going to Venmo you that money right after the show.
You can't. You don't know how to use Venmo.
Made my workload much less. But Ernie,
you don't know how to
Ernie,
do it, and I don't know
does
how to
it ever?
It, so
Yeah.
On 94.5 ESPN.
a home can be a lot of things, stressful, time-consuming, and expensive, but looking for a home should be an exciting chapter in your life. The We Sell group at Keller Williams knows this. Their passion is people. And now that my family and I are looking for a lake house to enjoy the Wisconsin summers even more, I feel their passion throughout the process. They've been knowledgeable, approachable, have unprecedented availability. Maybe you're looking for a lake house, or maybe you're looking for your first time home, or maybe selling is on your mind. Rob and Nick are helping every step of the way. The We Sell group's selling process makes sure that the best and most competitive offers are made on your home. Get started on a stress-free journey today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com. Pretty excited about the NFL draft being in Green Bay this week, guys. Like, so excited that I think I might go up on Wednesday and then come back home and then go back up on Thursday and do a little worky work and then go back up on Friday and just try to, like, absorb the whole atmosphere. Gabe, how much will you be up at the NFL draft this week?
I'll be up there all day Thursday, all day Friday.
Yes. And are you excited? Are you looking forward to it? Don't do the thing where because it's work, it's like overshadowing what is a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
I don't, just because I don't know how much time I'm going to actually have to leave the Tundra Trio and go explore. Like, I don't know how much time I'm going to have throughout the course of the day to, like, walk around and see what they've got over in the draft experience over by, the Titletown district. I don't know how much time I'm going to have to go wander over and actually see the stage. So I think it's going to be a great event. People are going to be pumped for it, and even just being in the backyard right next to Lambeau at the Trio, that's going to be a lot of fun. I just don't know how much time I'm going to have to actually wander the grounds and see all the cool different things they've got going.
Joshy, you'll be wandering, won't you?
Yes, I will be also very busy with work, but I plan to either on Saturday just go take it all in, or at various points. There are going to be very little downtime, but I'm going to go out of my way to get myself some draft merch, because it's going to be pretty unique stuff with the Green Bay on it. So I'm very excited just to be there.
Where do you think the merch is going to be? Are they going to have the pro shop open?
I don't know, but I imagine it's going to be everywhere. If I know how the NFL and the Packers like to create sales, I'd envision it's going to.
You're not going to have to look very hard, is what you're saying?
I feel like we're going to stumble into those type of things everywhere we turn.
I'll be interested on the number when they come to a number, because Wisconsinites like to outdo other cities, like the Ryder Cup, Gabe, right? Mm-hmm. They love having majors here in Wisconsin because they know the attendance is going to be off the wall. Even like the Senior Open, right? Which was very well attended at Stevens Point.
Yeah, at Century World. Mm-hmm.
At Century World, yeah. So, when you're talking 300,000, 400,000 people, I want to see how that works.
I don't think that this draft is going to be as attended as some of the other ones, Chew. Just because it's just so much easier to get to, right? I think we're going to get a good amount of people, but I can't imagine that they're going to have the same amount of people in Green Bay as they did in Nashville. Like, I just think of that crowd, the one picture from Nashville, just the hundreds of thousands of people. I don't know if we're going to get that.
But I think, Gabe, there's going to be a lot of people from all around the state driving in here and driving back. I don't think it's going to be a flight thing. I think this is going to be a destination for a lot of people who don't get to experience Lambeau Field for a game, come up and do this. I just think it's going to be a big number.
I think that depends wholly on how Lambeau Field is accommodating tours. Right? If you go up to Green Bay for the draft,
yep.
I think on your bucket list of things to do is Lambeau Field, tour Lambeau or whatever. Mm-hmm. I wonder how many stadium tours, because they do give stadium tours. They're an hour long. You just got to sign up for them. Are they sold out already? Are they doing them every hour on the hour? Are they doing them every 30 minutes in order to accommodate the desire, in order to accommodate the need? I'm not sure. I think that would depend. If you know that you can get to Lambeau Field and do the tour inside the stadium and whatnot, I feel like that is that's something that would encourage more people to go. Now, I think a lot of people will be there regardless, but I'm just saying, like, if I knew that was an option, that would incentivize me to be up there. What do you think, Joshy?
I think it's more just the pomp and circumstance. I think it's such a unique event. There's going to be so much to do in terms of just walk around. You know, they're going to have all the. We see it every year. Just like you can run the 40, you can like throw passes, you can tackle the tackling dummies. Like, I just think the idea of something this big and once in a lifetime for a lot of people is going to just. Let's go hang out there. Let's go walk around. Yeah. Let's go see what they got to do. And if we see a few picks, that's great. And if we can get in and actually attend the draft, that's great. But I think it's just one of those, it's going to be fun. You can have some beers. And I don't think Wisconsinites need much more than that.
It's sold out for the draft. Like if you wanted to do a tour, you had to do that a while ago. So for the Legendary Stadium Tour, because they have different tiers of the tours, which is the biggest one, 2 hours, 1.5 miles worth of walking. Soonest I can get a tour of Lambeau is Thursday the 29th at 11:30 a.m.
Woo! 29th of April.
So a week from tomorrow. That is the soonest I can get a Lambeau Field tour.
Are they going to use the Hudson Center for like that fan experience or something like that?
No, the fan experience, Chew, is over because they've got the football field over by the ski Title Town, all over that. Yeah. My guess is they'd probably use the Hudson Center as more like a green room setup for like the 17 players that are going to be there. Yeah. You know, kind of put those guys back there and then bring them up because the stage is going to be over in that little street between the Hudson Center and the Rush Center and the Expo Center and all those sorts of things.
I imagine, Chew, that all the flights, we were talking about the airport in the first segment of the show, but I imagine all the flights are pretty much sold out. American and United added additional Chicago trips. Delta added additional trips to Detroit, Minneapolis, and Atlanta. American and Delta also added nonstop round trips to New York. And Delta did the same for Salt Lake City, Los Angeles, and Orlando. So you've got plenty of arteries running to Green Bay, through Green Bay this week if you are still trying to get up there from out of town. Again, they would have gone over all of these logistical things, right? Mark Murphy wants this to succeed. He doesn't want people walking out of there on Sunday going, what a flop. Oh, man, that was terrible. That's why we don't do these things in the small cities. That's why we don't take a flyer, take a risk like that. They're going to pull out all the stops to ensure this is a success.
But this, if it's not a success, it's not on the Packers. The NFL came in and took everything over. Like the Packers don't have anything. Like Murphy, did the stumping and did everything he had to do to get the event here. Once he got the event here, basically the rest of it's out of his hands. The NFL comes in and they run the show for everything else.
Will Milwaukee feel overflow? I mean, it's essentially a Monday night game, right? Packers are going to draft probably around, 10:30? I mean, if you're staying in Milwaukee, then you're there at 1 o'clock in the morning. It kind of times up like a Monday night football game.
I did.
And then you don't have to be up there right away. You can sleep in. I would think there's going to be some overflow.
I spoke to Josh from Visit Milwaukee, and he said that I think it was about a 30% increase in occupancy around the hotels, and I know that they're throwing a bunch of events here where they're kind of treating it like a tailgate before you go up or after you come back, like depending on how you do it. They're going to plan stuff here because they are expecting an increase of people to a decent amount here in Milwaukee.
Well, and our friends over at Potawatomi are even offering shuttles.
Yep.
You can go to Potto, drop your car in the free parking structure, take the shuttle up to the draft, and then take the shuttle back from the draft to Potawatomi. Just smart because I would inevitably walk into the casino on my way home. Right?
Oh, I've talked with buddies who are going up there. I think they've already kind of talked to people that they know because they go up there quite a bit. I think it's $50 right now to park up there. You said it was $125 to park across the street. Like parking's going to be insane.
Oh yeah.
Because think about a game day and how many people have to park in driveways and front yards and all that. And that's when Lambeau has their parking lot available to them. None of those parking spots are going to be available for fans. So, I mean, it's going to be more people than a typical game day, plus no parking lot available. Parking's going to be crazy up there. Taking shuttles is the smart way to go.
What's your excitement level? I'm at like an 8, and it's only Monday. I'm at like an 8 from an excitement level for the draft being in Green Bay this week. Now, there will be small inconveniences. There will be, things that, we have to work through and deal with. You mentioned parking. That's going to be something. Hopefully you have a plan if you're headed up there of where you can leave your car and then walk to, like you said, the fan experience, walk over to the stage area, although I don't know how close you can get without these passes that Joshy talked about several months ago. You have to have access to some of these things, so you can't just like expect to walk up and get front row at the draft.
Just walk anywhere confidently. No one's going to stop you.
I'm not jumping on board with that.
Don't follow Gabe's advice.
I'm just saying. Ever see somebody stop walking? Somebody who's walking super
As your
confidently?
attorney, I am going to encourage you to stop talking.
Just saying.
I've used that method a lot of times, and it works. I don't know if the NFL draft, with the amount of rich and famous and expensive people around, they're just going to be like, oh, that guy looks like he should be here.
Now, all right, Joshy and Gabe are going up. Aren't you guys having a slumber party? Are you going to have a roommate? Are you rooming with Joshy?
Have no idea. I know where the house is located. That is the only thing I know.
Yes, Gabe and I will be in the same house together. I do not. The sleeping arrangements have not been made. It kind of feels like it's going to be a free-for-all, if I were to guess. I don't know if that's all planned out.
See, now you guys are I would scramble right now and find a guy that you don't think that snores or isn't a slob.
Wait, why don't you guys just room together?
Because I don't know if that's necessary. I have no idea how many rooms there are. I have no idea how many beds there are. I don't know if we have to have people who are staying in the same room.
I looked. There seems to be at least one or two people that are going to be sleeping in the same room.
Yeah, you two are thick as thieves. You should just make this happen.
I mean, it would make sense from the point of we're both going to be up the earliest.
Same schedule. Yeah,
yes,
may as well wake your roommate up if you got to wake up somebody.
Yeah, but who snores?
I
do not.
I do not.
This seems like a match made in heaven, gang. If I were you, I'd get on top of this right now to make sure you don't get assigned, someone else. Like Strofe. You don't want to be assigned Strofe, right?
He's staying at his brother.
Darn it!
Yeah, Strofe is not going to be in the house that we are.
I would prefer not to end up in a room with Ben. Who's going to be there?
I'd rather be with Ben than Strofe.
Are you still
Strofe's going to be 9,000 questions before you get to bed. Who do you think they're going to draft? What position do you think they're going to draft? How cold will it be? Do you think it'll snow?
You basically just made Strofe into that little dog from Looney Tunes.
As somebody who gets
Spike.
As somebody who gets the Strofe experience every morning here when he comes in and he's just a burst of energy, and I've been awake for 5 hours. Yeah, waking up with Strofe. He also tells me how he sings every morning when he wakes up. Sounds like a nightmare.
I am seeing a social media campaign developing in my brain. I'm going to have to get mad at you. It's just Joshy walking through the building with Strofe next to him like, hey, you want to play ball? Hey, you want to do
It is very similar to
that.
that.
You go, nah, and you give him a big smack.
Speaking of Strofe, you guys going to be live all week, noon to 2, right here at 94.5 ESPN.
Yes,
Mr. Irrelevant.
Going to be fun. I'll be up there starting Thursday with him. He's going to be up there the entire time. So I do get a break from him despite having to talk to him for 2 hours. Getting to talk to him. Let's do that.
Phrase this. We're saying this on the radio. Let's phrase this the way the bosses want me to phrase this.
You're going to need a Strofe detox. You're going to have to detox from Strofe.
All right, Jen Gabe and Chewy rolls on after this. Stick around, guys. Still a lot to get to. I do want to talk about some of the developments over this past weekend, see which direction you think the Green Bay Packers are going to go. I know we've talked about that a lot, but it feels like as more information keeps rolling out, Peter Schrager with a little nugget this weekend about a player that the Packers might be interested in. Things are changing by the moment. We'll try to get on top of it right after this.
Is your business ready to take the next step? At Fifth Third Commercial Bank Wisconsin, our team of local experienced advisors is here to propel you forward. We understand your needs and offer in-depth expertise, cutting-edge technology, and tailored solutions to streamline your cash collections, automate payments, and safeguard your assets with top-notch fraud mitigation tools. Great team that they have at Fifth Third Bank here in Milwaukee. They're always going to point you in the right direction, and you need to take advantage of that expertise that they have. Contact Fifth Third in downtown Milwaukee today. Let's eliminate non-value ad work so you can focus on what truly matters most. Growing your business. Fifth Third Bank National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Northbound on 41, backing up out of the Zoo Interchange, pretty much all the way up past Capitol Drive, and that's all the road work going on there, so just keep that in mind. Eastbound 94, a little bit backed up from 76th Street all the way to Hawley Road, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is rolling along pretty well. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Isolated showers early, very windy, some sun later on, a high of 54. Tonight, mostly clear, not as windy, a low of 39. Weather is brought to you by Infinity Exteriors, dedicated to saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Mother Nature can be unpredictable. Your roof, siding, and windows shouldn't be. We install peace of mind with transparency and quality guaranteed. Visit infinityexteriors.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
This wasn't how Patrick here in Milwaukee pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I've gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Hey Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra at Club Paragon Greenfield, Deer Camp, Milwaukee, Kelly's Bleachers Big Bend, New Berlin Ale House, and Stenny's Milwaukee. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks.
With a dedicated Milwaukee team, Fifth Third Bank knows what success looks like. For 15 years, we've been serving businesses, organizations, and individuals in the area with a long-standing commitment to the healthcare and not-for-profit sectors. Whether it's expansion to commercial payments, Fifth Third offers a full suite of financial services and solutions to navigate your organization's complex needs. Experience the difference with Fifth Third Bank. National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on the Packers. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
SoFi Personal Loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi Personal Loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
If it's gotten to the
I
point,
don't think shower.
What do you mean? What do you mean you're not going to take a shower? You just told me you're offended by your own BO.
No, but I think it's deodorant, Gabe. Showering does nothing. It really doesn't.
You are wrong.
Because
you must be showering wrong.
On 94.5 ESPN.
If you are in the market for home improvement, or maybe you're thinking about building a brand new home, I highly recommend the team over at PCI. Mike and Michelle operate a family-owned company. They believe in building relationships, and they did an exceptional job, guys. This is not hyperbolic. This is not exaggeration. We love the basement that PCI did for us. I got people that come over. They're like, hey, I want to see your new basement. I heard about your basement remodel. Come down, blown away. That's how great of a job Mike and Michelle and their excellent team did on our basement. So if you find yourself in the space where you need more space, PCI will take care of it for you. Go to their website, professionalconstructioninc.com, and see some of the work that they have done recently. You might even see my basement on there. Take a look at professionalconstructioninc.com. All right, let's get right down to the news of this weekend. Gabe, you saw what Peter Schrager said about a player that the Packers may have been interested. What is the latest?
So late last night, Schrager tweeted out, having spent the entire weekend on the phones, here are two names who will go higher than where consensus mock drafts have them going right now. Number 2 on the list is someone we don't care about, Colston Loveland, who's a tight end. But Mike L. Williams, who is a defensive end, an edge rusher, is number 1 for Peter Schrager, saying he is going to go higher than what is expected. So he is somebody that I guess I would expect not to be available for the Packers to pick him unless they end up falling in love with him and trading up, which we've discussed. And I have a hard time seeing the Packers moving off of 23 and making a huge jump up.
That's a guy you like, though, right, Gabe?
I do like Mike L. Williams. Again, the one edge rusher that I'm just scared of is Shamar Stewart, who is an athletic freak out of Texas A&M. And he had 4.5 career college sacks. The lack of production scares the bleep out of me, and maybe that's because that's who the Packers have drafted before. Guy who had lack of production in Lucas Van Ness, physical freak. Rashawn Gary, physical freak. Lack of production in college, and those guys haven't necessarily worked out for the Packers. So maybe that's just like the false equivalency going off in my brain, but that scares the bleep out of me. Just drafting another physical freak who needs to be developed because he didn't have the appropriate skills despite having the physical tools.
Chew, why do you think the Packers have done that? Why do you think they have convinced themselves that athlete beats all?
They try to out-cute themselves a little bit. And talking to Ron, I said years ago, who he had some questionable first-round picks. He told me that he relied too heavy on athleticism instead of guys that can actually play the game of football. And I think there was a little bit of that there with Van Ness, because remember, they said he didn't even start in college, which is fine, which they relied, when you do that, you're relying heavily on his athletic ability, which hasn't really served him well to this point. But I have a new guy. I actually did some show prep over the weekend.
No, you didn't.
On the flight down. Yes, I did. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but the Saints released their scouting report on the receivers, right? So I only look at the negative, because that's when I played, that's all coaches would talk about, the negative. You don't need the pat on the back. You don't need this. You know what you did well. I'm going to tell you what you did bad. So I read all these scouting reports on all these top receivers, and I tell you, I think Golden is the clear-cut best receiver in the draft. I like him. I like him better. I thought I liked Ibuka. He's got some negatives that I didn't really like. Everyone else is, but I think Golden should be their guy.
I kind of like it. I mean, again, I told you I did that mock draft with Vegas last week, and that was every market picking who they thought their team would go with. And everybody, there were no trades allowed, which again is not realistic. But again, according to Field Yates and some of these other guys, it might be tough to find a dance partner if you are trying to trade. People want to trade down, people don't want to trade up. If you missed that conversation we had with Field Yates last week, you can find it on the ESPN Wisconsin app, where we put all of our content. So I like it because that's who I picked was Golden. That was who, again, McMillan was gone, Ibuka was gone, Williams, to your point, Gabe, about what Peter Schrager reported, was gone. Some of these other guys, even I think like Simmons, if you think that the Packers may go offensive line, gone. But Golden was there. And so, again, whereas people are like, the Packers are not going to draft a wide receiver, they are going to be beholden to however the board shakes out. And in that particular case, that's how it shook out. I like the pick from you, Chew.
I like Golden, and I like his speed. But, Chew, I know we've talked about the Packers' need for that number one wide receiver. Is there any concern about his size, 5'11", 191?
That was a little bit of my concern. But when the guy can run a 4.29.
They say he doesn't play small.
No. But I looked at, the top guys just had red flags that I saw that spell a little bit of laziness. Okay? And that was the common theme of all the other receivers. It's like Golden stuff, his negatives, like all right, you can work with that, because you're not going to get the same coaching in college as you are in the pros. Pros, it's so much more dialed in and from a technical standpoint. And his concerns did not really scare me. They were all things that, okay, you can work with that.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones, just, I'm telling you, like, catches the ball in the crowd because he's a little lazy at the top of his routes. Doesn't, Ibuka to me is closer to a Christian Watson than a Devontae Adams. Just looking at his negatives, he feels more of an X to me than he does a Z.
Well,
and they really need a Z.
Yes.
They need a Z.
Yes, all of that. And I think, again, the not knock on Ibuka in particular, but when you're talking about the Green Bay Packers, people have compared him to what Jaden Reed is. Right?
Yeah.
Like they would say it'd be a little bit more of a duplicate of Jaden Reed. And to your point, I'm looking here at The Beast from The Athletic, which, by the way, man, this has been this giant book has been such a huge asset for me as I prepare for the draft this Thursday. It says a 1-year starter at Texas, Golden was the Z receiver in head coach Steve Sarkisian's RPO pro-style offense and we used across the formation with heavy motions, which I know that we like to see from Matt LaFleur and company. It says 76% of snaps wide, 24% of snaps in the slot. So that ability to play inside and outside makes him very attractive.
I think we also need to define to the audience what the difference between the X and the Z is.
Oh, well, let's do Chewy for that. Give us some NFL music. Chewy, what do we got?
All right, your Z is typically your featured receiver. You're looking at Justin Jefferson. You're looking at Amon St. Brown. Those are your Zs. Your Zs are going to catch the most balls. And, I mean, it's not really the West Coast offense anymore. It would go, your Z is your top guy by 20 catches, 25 catches, and then your tight ends in X, if they're good, are kind of the same kind of guy. So what happens is, like, when I played Robert Brooks, you graduate to Z, right? So Robert, free, all started at X, cut your teeth, and then they moved them to Z, and they were the feature receiver. So that's how it works.
And
your Z is the guy.
X does what on a football field for your team?
X is he is usually away from strength, so your tight end is typically paired with your Z. Your X obviously is on an island all on his own, so he's running slants where it clears out, where he's all by himself. Slants, goes, backside routes. Your Z's your workhorse. Your Z, Sterling obviously was a Z. He's the one catching 110 balls. Most of the primary receivers play calling go to Z.
The one thing I'll add is it seems like the consensus for the Packers is that they need an X receiver more so than they need a Z. But you can fill both holes. It's sort of like that's what they wanted Romeo Doubs to be last year. And he, as we saw, fell well short of that for various amount of reasons. Obviously, the Christian Watson issue is the speed and vertical and size thing is why guys like Tet McMillan and Jaden Higgins have been so talked about amongst Packer circles. Because they would seemingly fit that role, which they're going to not have at this point until Christian Watson returns.
All right, we got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, but I do want to ask Gabe when we come back how you feel about Chewy's pick of Matthew Golden to the Green Bay Packers with the 23rd pick. We'll get into that right after this. Stick around.
It's Dame Time, Season 4 of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher. Explore Bucks superstar Damian Lillard's unlikely journey from a 2-star high school prospect to a top 75 player in NBA history. The series, which is narrated by senior NBA insider Chris Haynes, reveals exclusive details of Dame's trade to the Bucks and experience with the team. Find Behind the Bucks, Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR benefits consultant.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply Apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Evan Cohen here. When the draft clock is ticking, you've got to pick the best talent, regardless of position, to fit your team's needs. Well, if you're hiring for your business, you want to find the best talent for any of your roles. That's why you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology hustles to find qualified candidates for your job immediately. And if you see a standout candidate, ZipRecruiter lets you personally invite them to apply. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
All power, zero compromise. Eagle cordless outdoor power equipment features advanced lithium battery technology that exceeds the power and performance of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. From mowers and trimmers to blowers and pressure washers, one battery powers over 90 tools. No wonder it's the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Power beyond belief. Visit EgoPowerPlus.com to learn more or to find an Ego retailer near you. That's EgoPowerPlus.com.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's game time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and H&R benefits consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Any of those things because it exceeds. It's like. I'm sorry, I'm burping up my apple right there. That's what that was. I wasn't pausing for effect. I literally was burping my apple.
All right, can we just go to break?
No.
On 94.5 ESPN.
You know what makes me happy? My wife being happy. That's why I go to the Jewelry Center. Let's be honest, most guys don't have a clue when it comes to buying jewelry. Gabe's one of the smart ones. He got the engagement ring and the wedding bands from the Jewelry Center for his wedding in 22. They also do in-house repairs for watches and other fine jewelry like my championship ring. When it needs work, I know where I'll be taking it to, the Jewelry Center. They have 3 locations to stop into: Greenfield, Brookfield, and Burlington. If my wife can't tag along, she can look through all the many styles of diamonds and other fine cuts online at shoptjc.com. I'm living proof. Happy wife, happy life. The Jewelry Center will make it happen. Brookfield, Greenfield, Burlington, and online at shoptjc.com.
Chicken.
Hey. You're the only one that hasn't sang yet.
I mean, yeah, I think you were supposed to set a good example for me. As the leader of the singing, you were supposed to set a good example. Yeah.
Chewy, you're the leader.
I'm the leader?
Yeah, you're the band leader. You're the head guy.
Hey, Gabe.
You're Steve Perry.
Just get used to Strofe answering the telephone when you guys are sleeping together in the same room going, Alex Strofe, who's your favorite Packer? You are going to hear that 50 times on Thursday night.
I don't know who's calling Strofe at midnight. I'm really hoping it happens and he answers like that.
Maybe he's calling people.
Yeah.
Wait, did you accidentally call Strofe and he answered? That's how you know he does that?
Yeah. He's King Toad. Oh, he is going to be. You know what the funny thing is? Because he's from Green Bay, everyone's asking him, Strofe, where's a good place to go eat? Have you been to Shoney's? It's really good. Get the lasagna.
Oh, man.
Well, I was going to try to get some business taken care of in this segment.
We did some business.
We did.
Monkey
I
business.
got to go do more business. I'll be back.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got backups because of an accident on northbound 4394 to westbound 94 in the Marquette. So watch out for that. And northbound 43 also slowing down from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keefe. Southbound side slowing down from just before Capitol Drive down to Burleigh. And the northbound on 41, you're slowing down from before Greenfield Avenue through the zoo all the way up almost to Silver Spring. That all has to do with road work. They've got a lane blocked off there, and so that's going to be a little bit on the tight side. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, isolated showers early, then very windy, some sun later on, a high of 54. Tonight, mostly clear, not as windy, a low of 39. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazagon, 94.5 ESPN.
With Progressive Customer Service, there are lots of ways to connect with us, so you never have to miss a second of your favorite sport. Because you'd much rather watch a ball go through a net 124 times in 48 minutes when you don't really have to pay attention until the last two, and then somehow those 2 minutes will take an hour. You don't want to miss all that. Luckily, you can chat with Progressive on our app, online, or over the phone without missing a single one of those times the ball goes through the metal circle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Hey, this is Homer. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Like Batman's been going strong for 80 years.
I'm sorry, I did not realize I was sitting amongst big Batman.
You won't believe what happened with Watley today. It got back to him that I made this little dentist joke, and he got all offended. Those people. It's gonna be so touchy.
Those people. Listen to yourself.
I did not realize that you were like king or president of the big Batman fan club. This is news to me.
No, is Batman fantastic? Yeah, Batman's fantastic.
You think the dentists are so different from me and you? They came to this country just like everybody else in search of a dream.
Watley's from Jersey.
Yes, and now he's a full-fledged American.
You're
fine.
You're
He's
just
fine.
Batman ignorant.
I don't think I'm Batman ignorant. I think I am.
You're a Batman hater.
You're anti-Batite. There we go.
Kramer, he's just a dentist.
Yeah, and you're an anti-dentite.
I am not an anti-dentite.
You're a rabid anti-dentite.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth.
Gonna get the guys' thoughts on the Milwaukee Bucks' first action in the postseason, or inaction, as it were, a little bit later in the show. I want to get Gabe's reaction to Chewy's offering of Matthew Golden as the Packers' pick in the first round of the draft this week. And if you've been listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy for a bit now, you know we've been talking about the draft in the weeks leading up to this week's event. And we have gone back and forth about the direction that we think the Packers will go. I got to admit, last week was the first time I thought a lot about the Packers going with a cornerback. Field Yates on the show talking about some of the guys who are out there we thinks might be a good fit for Green Bay, the Jair Alexander, how that contributes to it. We talked about Potawatomi having the odds at plus 175 that they go with the quarterback, second in the tier in the list of which direction Green Bay may go. So Chewy throws out Golden. He did some homework. He did some research this weekend. Chew, just remind the loyal listeners in case they missed that segment, what you like about Golden for the Green Bay Packers.
I love his speed. Who he reminds me of, and I know we can't crown him yet, but I look at him as like a Tyreek Hill, Antonio Brown. Take the nuttiness out of Antonio Brown. I think he's got the potential to be that type of player. I mean, just look at how good Tyreek Hill was in Kansas City's heyday when they were winning all those Super Bowls. You know, that would be a nice fit. His height is a little concerning, but I think it's a fair trade-off when the guy runs a 4.29. That's a playmaker.
The speed is something I think the Packers lack offensively just about through. And I know Wilde and Tausch have talked about, Josh Jacobs and how he's more of a bruiser. Yeah, every once in a while he can hit you a home run, but he's more of a bruising type back. They don't have that explosiveness with Christian Watson down outside of Bo Melton, and Bo Melton's a bit player, right? Like, they don't have that speed with somebody that they actually trust and want to put out there on the field all that often. I think Matthew Golden, to me, is, I agree with you. Like, he's the one guy I continuously kind of come back to of if they take someone in the first round, I probably want it to be Golden. But also in my mind, Ted McMillan is just not going to be there. Like, in my mind, I've already thought, okay, he's the best receiver in this class. He's not going to be there. Matthew Golden, he kind of solves that explosiveness issue that the Packers have with no Christian Watson for the first handful of months.
Mm-hmm.
And then, again, you don't know what's going to happen with Christian Watson going forward. Don't know if you're going to sign him to a contract extension. Don't know if you're going to give him 1 year at the end. Like, having a wide receiver that has that type of speed and also has that type of success, almost 1,000 yards this year with Texas, like, that makes me feel good about that position going, okay, maybe he doesn't have, a huge year in year one, but he can, as he's learning, still be able to use that speed as a different dynamic for the Packers. Kind of like Xavier Worthy, another guy who came out of Texas.
Yeah, I was going to say him a current. Yeah.
Did for the Kansas City Chiefs last year. Worthy can probably grow, and Worthy's a little bit smaller than Golden is, but Worthy was able to use that speed, and they had gadget plays for him, right? Like, they had specific plays of, okay, we got to get this guy 3 or 4 touches just to see if he can break one with the speed. And if Golden doesn't develop into the number one we want him to be this year, I think he's fast enough and explosive enough where Matt LaFleur's going to go, hey, we got to make sure he's getting the ball at least a couple of times just to see if he breaks one at any point in every game.
You know who would love to have Golden as the first pick? Love. Not love. Love would probably love to have.
I figured you were answering your own question with the quarterback loving to have a wide receiver.
Yeah. I thought you were playing a pun.
Tucker Kraft would love to have him.
Tell us why.
2 guys that can fly on the outside and clear it out for him. Oh, be loving life. If Christian Watson fully expects to play part of the season, hopefully they get a deal. Because having 2 guys that can fly on the outside, that's a tight end's dream. Because then you don't have to worry. You know that if they're going to play cover 2, that guy has to slide over the top to the outside on both sides, which makes your middle of the field lusciously delicious.
What is this, Lucky Charms?
Thank you. I was thinking the same thing. It's magically delicious, Gabe. Easy to get those confused. I'm one of these people, Chew, who in the past has gotten annoyed. And I want to be clear as I tell this story, as I weave this tale. I want you to know I recognize the ridiculousness of it. But I have been annoyed when the teams I have rooted for have gone heavy with the defensive and offensive line. It's just not a sexy pick. Do I understand the importance? Do I understand how relevant it is to having success? Do I understand the relationship between having a strong offensive line, a strong defensive line to being a playoff contender? I do. And yet, it's not sexy. It's not fun. And the Packers have, year in and year out, devoted resources to those positions. We've talked about Brian Gutekunst, and Brian Gutekunst loves drafting defensive players as well. There is a part of me that is like, we've waited so long for people who support the Green Bay Packers, for people who pull for the Packers, who want to see the Packers have success, for them to draft a top wide receiver, a skill position player. We joked about Aaron Rodgers always saying he didn't have enough talent around him. Whether or not you agree with that sentiment or not, they obviously didn't go out and draft guys like that in the first round. There is a part of me that is salivating at the possibility that this could be the year based on a number of different things. Based on need, yes. Based on that we saw that the receiver by committee didn't get the job done. We thought maybe they could break the mold and be one of those teams that had a lot of B players, a lot of number twos that somebody would elevate to a number one, or that they could just all together be stronger than one individual guy. But it didn't happen. So now there's all of this part of me that the logic is also coming together with like the fantasy of a splash number one wide receiver, first round of the draft. And I recognize, Gabe, that it still may not happen. But that's where my hope is for night one of the NFL draft for the Green Bay Packers.
Teams love speed. As much as we're talking about Golden, like there's a chance that he's not there at 23. Like, it's depending upon, again, how you feel about, in what position you put Travis Hunter at. Golden's the third best receiver, it seems, across the board. Whether you're looking in the beast that you have there, Jen, whether you look at Mel Kiper's, his big board, and it seems like the consensus is he is the next best receiver behind Tet McMillan. Like, it's Tet, Gabe, and then it's Matthew Golden.
Gabe, do you know if they brought in Derek Harmon, the defensive tackle out of Oregon? Because that's my fear. That's my fear.
I do not believe they did.
You know what's interesting
I will
is
double check.
We're talking about the wide receivers, and we have done the thing that a lot of people have done, which is immediately go to Tet.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the number one wide receiver, though, is he?
No, yeah. Travis Hunter is.
Thank you.
Oh, Travis
well, I was about
Hunter.
to say, it depends upon where you put Travis Hunter.
Isn't that interesting,
some people list him at corner, some people and I mean, he's talked about how he wants to play both ways. I've heard some GMs say, "Oh yeah, I'd play him at corner and then sprinkle him in at wide receiver." I've Andrew Berry, who's the GM of the Browns, has said, "Oh, we'll play him at wide receiver and sprinkle him in at cornerback." So it's kind of
him Ohtani.
Yes, also called him Shohei Ohtani. Which
wrong.
Yeah. We don't need to get into that, but
total sidebar here though, guys, but if you are CB1 for whatever team drafts Travis Hunter, and Travis Hunter, is primarily going to play offensive, but he wants to be sprinkled in on defense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a great way to start. If you're cornerback one, if you are the guy on your team who that's your job, do you love Travis Hunter coming in and being like, but occasionally I'm going to step in on the field with you and take some snaps?
How is that any different than a nickel? Because that's kind of how they would use him.
That's what we would have to be.
Yeah, that's how they would kind of use him, is, nickel and dime situations, is put him in. I know most teams play nickel 75% of the time now, but yeah, it depends on how you want to use him.
If he's your number one shutdown corner, they don't want him playing offense. No. It's like, did you want Jair returning punts? You don't want, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they're taking that. Yeah, that's why they're taking it out of Keyshawn's, because Keyshawn's probably going to be a starting corner, and they don't want him being a return guy. That's why they went out and got Hardman. So.
The highest ranked defensive tackle that they have brought in, Walter Nolan, out of Ole Miss.
Okay. Because on my board, the kid out of Oregon's slated to go 23, and Nolan's
I saw that as well.
That is a name I have seen quite a bit, tracking all the different the mock drafts, Chew. That is a name I have seen mocked to the Packers quite a bit.
Nolan.
How will you feel if they draft a D tackle? What will you? Yeah, fine.
I mean, it's
fine.
Look, it's a big need. Hard to be upset about it.
If they do, I would prefer it to be the better of the two at pass rushing, which I believe is Nolan. I would like a guy to be a penetrator and not just sort of the stand still and tough defensive tackle that we're so used to in Green Bay.
Yeah, I would understand wholeheartedly, Chew, if that's the way they went.
Okay.
It would be, like Jen said, It'd be a little sad and disappointing because, you want somebody
Not
big.
that sexy.
Even an edge rusher is more sexy, right? Because you're thinking, oh, man, how many sacks can this guy get? But if it ends up being a defensive tackle, I get it because they just need help everywhere on that defensive line.
Take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Roll on. Still more draft stuff to get to, but I do want to talk about the Milwaukee Bucks and their performance against Pacers. They'll play again on Tuesday. Will Dame Lillard be on the court? We'll discuss that right after this. What does it mean to be a local bank? At Great Midwest Bank, they may be small, but their coworkers really understand the local community because everyone is a part of it. Every one of them actually lives here in the Milwaukee land in your neighborhoods. Our customers live just down the street. We give them customized products and services that others can't offer, Great Midwest Bank says. So naturally, after almost 90 years, giving back is an obligation that Great Midwest Bank is proud to provide. Great Midwest Bank, simply giving, simply local.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, we got an accident eastbound on 894 right about at Forest Home. The right lane is blocked, so we got backups all the way into the Hale interchange. This along with another accident on the ramp from eastbound, actually the earlier one from northbound 4394 to westbound 94. Looks like they've moved it off to 25th Street's off ramp, so keep that one in mind. Northbound 43 backing up from Fond du Lac Avenue up to Keefe, and northbound 41. A parking lot from the zoo all the way up past Capitol Drive to Hampton. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Isolated showers early, then very windy. Some sun later on this afternoon, a high of 54. Then tonight, mostly clear, not as windy, a low of 39. Weather is brought to you by Higher Love Cannabis Company. Draft fans score big at Higher Love in Menominee. Get 25% off in-store or online with code ESPN Draft. Hurry, offer ends April 28th. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD today.
Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Hey Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra at Brothers Milwaukee, Champs Americana Brookfield, Double D's Hales Corners, Ray and Dot's Greendale, and Who's on Third Milwaukee. That's Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so that you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. For a limited time, enjoy exclusive seasonal rates starting at $139. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You can just save yourself so much time by going, okay, we like this guy, this guy, this guy. Let's take a look at all the different things he did at the Combine. I just hit my microphone, and now my hand is just tingling.
No,
What's
your
with you
hand
two
is
today?
numb.
Jesus. Do you know how to function?
I just like.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. It's located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's theater district, so convenient. And with deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. For a limited time, you can enjoy exclusive seasonal rates starting at $139 a night. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
The best you ever had is just a memory and those
Gabe, please make me feel better somehow about this Bucks series against the Pacers. Maybe you'll say it's easy. Dame's coming back. They're going to figure out how to, slow down the balanced attack of the Pacers. They won't be in Indianapolis for all of the games. These are things that I could cling to. But right now I'm still feeling pretty despondent about the way that the Bucks showed up in the first game against the Pacers, absolutely getting blown out of the gym. Giannis had 36 points.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis came
12 rebounds,
but couldn't, how many assists did he end up with? One?
One. I mean, when nobody else is making shots, it's tough.
So again, he can't do it alone, right? Can't do it by himself.
But do you remember how last year's series started?
Giannis was hurt, right?
Sure, but what my point is, last year, game one, Bucks were up by 27 at the half. They went on and won. They dominated the game, especially starting the second quarter, kind of eerily similar to the way that the Pacers did. And the Pacers went on to win the series. So it's just one game. The Bucks had the best three-point shooting percentage as a team this year in the NBA.
What was it, 36?
38. 38%. I don't think they're going to be shooting 24% from three much longer. They've got to change stuff they're doing defensively. Kyle Kuzma just got lost. I was more distraught about Kyle Kuzma on defense than I was his not scoring any points on offense. Just wandering around the court for bad double teams leading to wide open threes for the Pacers early in that second quarter. But Dame's coming back, and that's going to give the Pacers something else they have to pay attention to on the defensive end.
But he's not going to come back and play 38 minutes. There's got to be some sort of ramp up here,
I would not
right?
be shocked, Chew, just based on the way they handled Chris returning earlier this year. Middleton wasn't starting, but he was a part of the closing lineup just because it was easier for Doc to manage whatever minutes they wanted to manage if Chris was coming off the bench. I would not be shocked if Dame comes back in game 2, if Dame comes back in game 3, if Lillard comes off the bench, just because that's an easier way to manage whatever minutes they want to manage.
The bottom line is someone has to score other than Giannis.
Yep. Yeah, it's that simple.
Right?
It's to me, it is that simple. And a team that shot less than 25% from three, who was the best three-point shooting team in the NBA, I don't expect shooting performances like that to continue.
But I guess what I'm worried about, guys, is that the expectation is that will be Dame. And I think we have to temper our expectations for Dame. Yes, to your point, Gabe, he is a guy that they will have to counter. The Pacers cannot leave Dame open for him to shoot all day. But to Chewy's point, he's also going to still be working his way back from that injury. So it needs to be somebody else, is the point. Mm-hmm. Who is the best candidate? And again, I am as frustrated with Kyle Kuzma as the next guy. I keep hoping, and I said this last week on Weekly Wager, I keep hoping that the next game is when it clicks for him, when he starts being a solid contributor offensively and defensively. I, too, not thrilled with the way that he was playing out there defensively. Felt like that's what gave the Pacers a lot of open looks. There were way too many possessions where it looked so easy for the Pacers. And I'm thinking to myself, it's not supposed to be this easy. This is the NBA, for goodness sakes. But it looked like, the Bucks were at times a team down at the YMCA playing an NBA team. It was very frustrating to see how easily it was for the Pacers to just do what they wanted on so many possessions. Who is the next guy who you need to see a solid contribution from in order for this Bucks team to win next game?
I don't think it's one person. I mean, clearly Taurean Prince, Kyle Kuzma have to score. You can't just get 14 points out of your non-Giannis starters. But it's a combination of Prince. It's a combination of Kuz, Bobby Portis. And the three guys that actually did play well, Trent Porter and A.J. Green, have to contribute to have valuable minutes. I don't think it's one guy, and I don't think it's just going to be, here's clearly this guy, but it's a combination of some combination of those guys continuing to step up. And yeah, sometimes, Bobby Portis will have 21 points, and then A.J. Green will only have 6. But it's a combination of all those other guys just trying to figure out a way to step up and actually be useful. Because Taurean Prince, he was one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA this season. For him to get off one shot, to me, that's they were going a lot of ISO with Giannis, and he was just able to beat his guy one-on-one because the Pacers don't have an answer for him defensively. But they have to me, that's on Doc, where they've got to get more movement within that offense and try to get looks for Giannis within the movement of their offense instead of just hunting switches and having Giannis go ISO.
So the other thing that really frustrated me, too, in this game was the free throw percentage. As a team, they were terrible. They were just bad across the board. But Giannis is the guy. If Giannis is going to drive the lane, and the Pacers' game plan is that they're just going to foul him repeatedly, consistently, he's got to take advantage of those opportunities. He can't go 8 for 15 from the line. I know that we all love Giannis, and I know that he held up his end of the donkey from a point standpoint, but that was frustrating, Chew, to know that that's the game plan, to see it happening and developing very early in this one, and then for Giannis to struggle so mightily at the free throw line.
Yeah, but, I actually feel better the fact that they got blown out.
Yeah. Tell me why.
No, I do, just from a psychological standpoint. If you lose in a close one there, it's kind of like, oh, man, we let that one get away. Now it's like, hey, guys, we got our ass kicked, and that was embarrassing. So I fully expect to come back.
All right, as the only professional athlete on the panel here, Chew, though, why does that work? Explain that to me.
Because you're embarrassed. There's nothing worse than going into meetings, and I'm sure every sport is the same. There's nothing worse than going into a meeting the next day, watching the film or whatever, than having your coaches disappointed in you for whatever reason because you didn't play well. That's the thing that tugs at you the most. And then you come back with that fire for game 2. You rally the troops. Hey, Dame's coming back right around the corner. It's just a different mindset when you lose by 1 in a tight game going into game 2 as opposed to getting blown out. Because these guys have pride. They have a lot of pride. They know they stunk. So I think I think they'll be fine. I really do.
I don't know. I'm nervous. Joshy, where do you stand on this? I'm more nervous now. And again, I understand everything Chewy's saying from a psychological standpoint. I understand the addition of Dame Lillard. I did not expect it to be that bad, especially as we have continued saying having the best player in the series in a Bucks uniform.
I certainly have more optimism than with Dame returning. There is a part of me that just thinks this isn't the right combination of players, and due to circumstances somewhat beyond management and coaching's abilities, things happened in a way that made them a team that isn't the perfect mix and isn't the right mix. I don't know what even is a fair expectation for this team right now based on what I saw during the regular season, and there's plenty of factors you can point to that caused them probably to not perform the way they wanted to, but you would have hoped with Giannis that game looked better. They basically didn't stand a chance after the first quarter, and that was discouraging in a way I didn't expect it to be. I'm leaving the case for optimism, but I'm not going to be shocked if there's a lot of disappointment in this.
That's how I feel as well.
Yeah.
I guess I'm guarding myself against, oh no, that game was an eye-opener. Again, acknowledging all of the things, but to me it's like, oh crap.
Is there a dynamic here?
Outmanned, outclassed here.
Is there a dynamic for you, Gabe, and this is you're probably the most locked in, certainly more than I am, that the Pacers just have the Bucks number?
No, because the Bucks beat them 3 out of 4 times this season. Chris only played in one of those games. Dame played in all 4.
Right. What was their? Were they full? Were they going after it full bore?
Yeah.
Were they playing?
The Pacers were playing poorly at the beginning of the season, and they've played better since the calendar flipped over to 2025. But I feel like the Bucks just have to tighten up again. They just allowed too many wide open threes. But you look at the way they played in the second half. They made a push in that second half. The second quarter just killed them.
Yeah.
They dug themselves way too deep of a hole that they just could not dig themselves out of. And having that other player in Damian Lillard who, A, can handle the basketball and take some of those responsibilities away from Giannis as well, I think that's going to really just open up a lot of things for this team. And while we keep saying, yeah, Dame's not going to go out there and play 45 minutes, I wouldn't be shocked if he's playing 35 because the one thing
right
too,
out of
that
the gate?
the one thing that he talked about and the one thing that has been discussed around it is the fact that he has been staying conditioned this entire time. Like he found it through the non-conditioning, through the non-contact stuff. Like they found out right away. They got him on the blood thinners even before they had the diagnosis. But he knew, okay, if there's just some chance I can come back, I want to be ready to go. So I would not be shocked if he plays 35 minutes.
Has he been out a month?
3 weeks.
That's a long time.
It's not that long though.
On basketball, it is.
I feel like he's going to be ready to go. He's going to be chomping at the bit.
Okay.
And I don't think that there's going to be anything that's, again, it's not like he's come. It's not like last year when he played through an Achilles injury, right? Like it's
that's a nag.
He's not recovering from an injury, something he's not a pulled hamstring or he had an elbow issue. No, this was like a health related thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you have to guard against any of that. As long as he's feeling good physically, I mean, why not ride him?
Who does Pato have winning the series? Indiana favored?
Probably.
I haven't seen them actually do series. Josh, I could be wrong on that, but like you can obviously bet game by game, but I didn't see them.
You can bet series.
What was the
last I looked? It was Bucks were plus 170
to win the series.
Yes.
Wow.
So they were underdogs.
Yeah, they were dogs. They're dogs in this game by 4.5.
Yeah,
and they were dogs in the game on Saturday as well. But I thought it was 2 or something. Was it 2? 2.5?
I did not see this. I did not see the spread in that game. We could go back and look. I think ESPN has that number still attached.
Giannis said, I think we were late. We were getting ourselves in a lot of scramble mode, which they were able to get downhill on and create for the next guy, and that's just because we were in scramble mode. He said he knows what they need to do for game 2. Doesn't want to share the ideas. That's a smart strategy by you, Giannis, not to tell everybody what you guys plan to do to attack it. But, Chewy, to your psychological standpoint, you don't think the Pacers have a psychological advantage here?
It could go the other way. Could go like, hey, we blew them out once. Let's rest a little bit. I feel good about it. I think they'll win game 2. I really do. You come back after you've been embarrassed. I don't know who we played, Gabe, after that Indy game, but I can guarantee we probably won that game because we were embarrassed.
Hold, please. I can get that answer for you in about 15 seconds. And you guys were also like, one of the best teams in the NFL that year.
Yeah, and the Colts were like 3-10 at the time. They were absolutely terrible.
All right, so after you lost to the Colts, you played the Dallas Cowboys at Lambeau Field. First time you guys got to play Dallas at Lambeau, and you won 45-17.
And smoked, yeah. So, Jen, I would put some cabbage down on the Bucks for game 2.
What is your optimism level for the Milwaukee Bucks now after their Game 1 loss against the Pacers? Let us know. We'll put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter account. You can go ahead and weigh in on that. We'll check the results as the show rolls on. Take a break. Be right back after this.
It's draft week in Green Bay and playoff time for the NBA and NHL and our favorite daily fantasy sports app with the absolute largest payouts on parlay is Wanna Parlay. WANNA. I downloaded the Wanna Parlay app on my phone, and it is so much fun. You can compete against me and all the other Jen, Gabe, and Chewy listeners to see who can combine a few picks to build the best parlay and win. It's just $2 for taking home a huge cash prize. It's a blast and so simple to use, and there are new basketball, hockey, baseball, and combat sports contests every single week. And the best part, it is only $2. Plus, there are always free-to-play games as well. It just makes watching all sports so much more fun. Here's what you should do. Download the Wanna Parlay app, click around, and when you decide to upload money to play and get into the action, use promo code JGC for a 100% deposit match for up to $250. Download the Wanna Parlay app, use promo code JGC, and let's play the world's richest parlay today. Must be 18 years or older to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER today.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, we got an accident eastbound on 894 right about at Forest Home. The right lane is blocked, so we got backups all the way into the Hale interchange. This along with another accident on the ramp from eastbound, actually the earlier one from northbound 4394 to westbound 94. Looks like they moved it off to 25th Street's off ramp, so keep that one in mind. Northbound 43 backing up from Fond du Lac Avenue up to Keefe, and northbound 41. A parking lot lot from the zoo all the way up past Capitol Drive to Hampton. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Isolated showers early, then very windy. Some sun later on this afternoon, a high of 54. And tonight, mostly clear, not as windy, a low of 39. Weather is brought to you by Higher Love Cannabis Company. Draft fans score big at Higher Love in Menominee. Get 25% off in-store or online with code ESPN Draft. Hurry, offer ends April 28th. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD today. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta. You've heard me talk about my community, so you know that local means something to me. And it means something to Great Midwest Bank as well. But what exactly does it mean to be a local bank? GMB understands community because they're part of it. Employees live here, and customers, well, they're just neighbors. Great Midwest Bank offers customized products that others just can't offer. Over 90 years of being a proud part of your community. Great Midwest Bank, simply giving, simply local.
Bandana? Check. Boots? Check. Gloves? Check. As a motorcycle rider in Wisconsin, you may go to great lengths to protect your image. Just be sure you're protecting yourself, too. Wear a Department of Transportation-approved helmet. Perform safety checks on your motorcycle. Know the traffic laws and don't take risks. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. Zero in Wisconsin. Together, we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making Wisconsin your home. Visit pickwisconsin.com. A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Head to TrueGreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's game time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and H&R benefits consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Quality isn't just a promise, it's a process. At Higher Love, they craft with integrity, delivering farm-to-table products you can trust. As the only clean green certified organic cultivator in the Upper Peninsula, Higher Love takes pride in growing pure premium products, meaning better quality at better value and a difference you can feel. You can find Higher Love just across the border in Menominee and Ironwood, or at any of their 9 locations throughout the UP. Get more information at findhigherlove.com/CBD.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Come on, guys. Let's think about this. Could you do 50 straight days of burgers?
That was very condescending. I just
No,
want to be
no,
clear.
that's not.
Let's put our heads together.
Again, I have children. I know condescending when I hear it. Ashton.
Come on,
On 94.5 ESPN.
Nothing like a special delivery to the studio with a balloon. I'm a big balloon gal. I like balloons. I get them for my kids for their birthdays. And we have a balloon in the studio. We're bopping it around Bluey style. Keepy uppy. The Milwaukee Brewers delivered. We need to show Gabe. There we go. Oh, look at that. Gabe hugging the hot dog.
I think you should be hugging the other item that it's attached to.
What is it?
Balloons are so fun.
This?
Yes.
This is a tub of hot dogs that we got from the Brewers.
Hot dog tub.
How many people do I think work on this show? We've got 1, 2, 3. We've got 10 hot dogs in here.
Yeah.
Is this something they're doing at the ballpark? Are they doing a bucket of hot dogs? Bucket of dogs?
So a little note came with it. Join the club. Welcome to Hot Dog Heaven, brewers.com/hotdog club. So I went to the website. Become a member today and get a free hot dog at every home game. Starting May 2nd, you can satisfy your hot dog craving at every Brewers home game this season with an exclusive Hot Dog Club membership. For just $59.99, become a Hot Dog VIP and get a glizzy at every home game you go to. Welcome to Hot Dog Heaven. Plus, you get member-only experiences, top-rated recommendation for most hot dogs redeemed, and an exclusive Hot Dog Club trucker hat, which I think Joshy would absolutely love.
Okay,
this hat is sick.
One more time. Give me the website.
Brewers.com/Hot Dog Club.
Oh, Hot Dog Club. I kept putting in hot dog, hot dogs with an S, Hot Dog Club.
I'm gonna
there it is.
Oh. I wish they'd have brought some stadium sauce with it, but I can settle for some mustard.
Okay, $59.99. You become a hot dog VIP. And you get a free hot. Well, it's not free. You're buying into the membership,
Right.
but you get it's like a car wash. It's like you get the car wash membership, and then you roll through, and then it's free, quote unquote, whenever you go to the car wash. They just lift the arm for you. Read your scans, your license plate. Do you get? So what I'm wondering is, do you get a card? You get what's your thing? You have your license plate.
How do you redeem your? Yeah, I'm not sure.
You get a card that says that I'm part of the Hot Dog Club.
Do I need to wear the hat to redeem? Do I need to be a hat wearer?
A Hot Dog Club hot dog voucher for every remaining regular season home game will be automatically loaded into your MLB ballpark app upon purchase.
Amazing. So you just open up the MLB app, the MLB ballpark app.
Yeah.
All right, I'm into it. I love hot dogs.
Yeah.
I'll take a hot dog over a hamburger. Yeah.
I will take a hot dog over a brat. I know that's like sacrilegious here in Milwaukee and Wisconsin, but I prefer hot dogs to brats.
I'll do both. I don't discriminate.
I didn't realize I needed a hot dog at 8:40 in the morning, but here we are.
I'm starting to salivate. I mean, I've got my hard-boiled eggs over here. I've got my yogurt that I haven't
know
even
you're trying to
cracked
get more
into.
protein. Hot dogs have protein.
Yeah.
They're delicious.
I love hot dogs. Trust me.
Have a hot dog.
I'm
Have
not
a dog.
anti-hot dog by any means. I am anti-glizzy, though. Can't do it. As soon as I said it, I was like, ah.
Don't love that word. Not my favorite word. I do like hot dogs. There's something, too, where, I don't consume many hot dogs in my day-to-day. I don't think most people do. But if I go to the ballpark, I'm getting a hot dog. I don't know what makes it taste better, what happens
A little
when
bit
they
of
get
secret
cooked.
stadium sauce. Oh.
Yeah. It's just, you need a
It's
dog.
the spot, yeah.
I had 3 of them yesterday.
You had a triple dog day?
Oh, yeah, I love hot dogs. Let me tell you what, Jen, you talk about Costco. Go to Costco and get the Usinger's hot dogs. They are the bomb. There's nothing better. Put them over a campfire. Are you kidding me?
What's crazy is I don't need to be sold on this. Like, I'm all in. I am in. I'm the person in my house that's like, I'm a little hungry. What do I want to do? And then there's nothing like a soft hot dog bun. You throw it in there. Now, again, what I love about it is it's customizable. Whatever your preferences are,
Yeah.
If you like a mustard on your dog, if you like ketchup on your dog, you like relish, I don't care either. I know people that throw sloppy joes on top of their hot dogs. Sloppy Joe meat.
Yeah, kind of like a chili-ish dog.
Sloppy dog. I don't know. It's come up with something. Chili dog, obviously, fantastic as well.
Slaw dogs?
Yes.
Slaw dog. My go-to is like, what do you want for dinner? I don't want to go to the store. It's always a can of beans, boil the hot dogs, cut them up, and put them in the beans.
And then don't go by you for at least 48 hours.
Yes.
No wonder your wife wants something to be wrong with you.
Boiling hot dogs is the worst way to cook hot dogs.
Yeah, come on. Good.
The hot dog water is the grossest thing I could ever imagine.
Hot dog water? What?
You just said
after you boil it.
Yeah.
It's a Monday.
It deserves to be on at very least a griddle top.
You seriously boil your hot dogs, Chew?
If I'm going to cut them up and then put them in the beans, yeah, absolutely.
Why don't you just grill them?
You got to start the grill up, and there's all that.
You gotta fill the pot with water. I feel it's the same amount of effort. It's less dishes too.
Well, you mentioned dicing up your hot dogs and throwing them in to the beans.
The beans? Yeah.
Apparently, the mac and cheese hot dog thing is a real thing. Joshy, you sent us this video, this viral video about people who throw hot dogs, dice them up, and throw them into mac and cheese. And people were like, yeah, been doing that since the dawn of time.
Yeah, it all started because I believe somebody was picking on their roommate they called it a normal meal to make mac and cheese, the old Kraft style, and dice up some dogs and put it in there. Now, for me, when I was 8, that was very much a regular meal for me. I haven't gone down the hot dog and Kraft mac and cheese aisle in a long time. I don't know, like, is there a way to fancy it up maybe where you could maybe put a kielbasa in a
Well, I mean, the way to fancy it up is make your own mac and cheese, not make it the Kraft. But again, like there is something nostalgic. I'm with you. I have not done it in a while. I could not tell you the last time I had Kraft mac and cheese. But if I had it and I had some hot dogs in it, I would eat the bleep out of it.
You put it in front of me, I'd down it. I don't see myself making it, but if it's an option, I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
I'm a little nervous, though, guys, that this is one of those things that we remember being better than it actually is. I got a bunch of those things that, like, when I was a kid, they were the bee's knees. They were fantastic. But now I try them as an adult, and I'm like, oh, it's not. Now, maybe the quality's gone down. You know what I did that with a couple years ago? SpaghettiOs. Okay? When I was a kid, SpaghettiOs were amazing. If we got SpaghettiOs, I was like, what's the occasion? And I was like, I got them for my kids. And I was like, you guys, wait till you try these SpaghettiOs. They were like, no, thank you. My kids who live on chicken nuggets were like, no, thank you to SpaghettiOs. So what changed? They changed the recipe. Our palates have evolved. What's the difference between when we were kids and I loved me some SpaghettiOs and my kids who do not have the most discerning palates, I think is what I'm trying to say, saying no, thank you to eating the SpaghettiOs.
Well, for me growing up, the fancy place we went out to eat for the longest time was Applebee's. So
we didn't get an Applebee's until I was in high school.
So SpaghettiOs to me at that point were just sort of the standard fare.
Yeah. What about the ravioli? Ravioli's even better.
SpaghettiOs better than the ravioli.
I think
a SpaghettiOs family.
Ruined the meatball for me ever since those little things that they put in the can. Those.
Whatever they are, because they're not meatballs.
Yeah, I think that ruined me with meatballs for the rest of my. Because I don't eat them currently, and
you don't eat real meatballs from like Gloriosos
you
or
wouldn't
something.
Get, like, if I put a meatball sub in front of you, you wouldn't eat it?
I would not.
Whoa!
What?
I mean, I probably would, but it's not what I would get. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, but Josh,
I'm not ordering myself meatball anything ever.
Oh, wow. What is the stuff inside the ravioli? That looks more like refried beans than it does like ground beef.
That's true.
I mean, it's probably the same thing.
It's like a paste.
Chewy, it's probably the same thing of whatever the SpaghettiOs meatball is.
Yeah. And let's be honest, they were incredible. I mean, they just were. But again, I'm still wondering, like, if the mac and cheese and the hot dogs is something that sounds better in principle than in actuality.
I can't imagine. You know what a hot dog tastes like. It's delicious. You've thrown it in Kraft mac and cheese. Like, Kraft mac and cheese is still, like...
is the ratio, though. It all comes down to dining and eating all comes down to the ratios of the ingredients. You got to nail it. Is it one hot dog per bowl of mac and cheese?
I mean, you're probably going to eat the bowl of mac and cheese by yourself, right?
You mean the pan?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You're sharing?
Yeah, I mean, but the box of Kraft is a single serving.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah, that's just simple.
Well, in my house, the box of Kraft mac and cheese, and we've upgraded a little bit. We've gone to the Goodles. Anybody do Goodles?
Don't even know what that is.
Love a Goodles. Chase will eat a whole box by himself, and then the girls can split one, 50-50. Right, but they're 7 and 5. That makes sense.
Can you define Goodle?
It's a good noodle. I'm pretty sure that's their catchphase. That's their slogan.
Is that just a different? Like, it's not like
Velveeta, the shells and cheese.
Yeah, like it's just. Is it just the classic elbow macaroni and a cheese?
No, you can get like a Parmesan with a spiral. So you got some options there. You got to Google Goodles. That's a tricky thing to say, by the way. You got to Google the Goodles.
What is the cheese? Is it a powder like the Kraft?
It is a powder. Yep,
okay.
Same type of thing. You mix it with the milk. You mix it with the butter. Not trying to reinvent the wheel over here. Just trying to maybe elevate it a little bit. Your taste buds and whatnot.
Velveeta exists for that reason already.
Right. Look, we all know if you got Velveeta shells and cheese when we were kids, you were rich. Okay.
It was special.
We're eating fancy.
Yeah.
It's a napkin on the lap type of meal.
Exactly. I got 2 forks.
Tuck it into the shirt.
800-990-3776. The Brewers sent over a bucket of hot dogs. You can join the hot dog club.
I love this hot dog club hat. I can't stop looking at it.
I haven't seen. Oh, I see the hat. That is a good hat.
Yeah, it's a good hat.
Milwaukee Brewers hot dog club. I might. You know what? The price of the admission is worth the hat. The hat is worth the price of admission. $59.99. Hurry up! And I love that they're doing this at the beginning of the season because you basically get the full season's worth. Every game you're at, you get a dog. What are dogs running now? I know you can get the kids ones.
$7 or $8.
Yeah, it's a steal. Right?
That's a deal. That's a heck of a deal.
If you're going to spend your summer at AmFam Field and you're going to be there a whole bunch, stop by. You don't have to.
If you go to 10 games, it pays for itself.
You don't have to do that much work to end up in the positive here in the dog scale.
I've been
plus you get the hat, and if you eat the most hot dogs, you get top recognition for most dogs redeemed.
There's a leaderboard?
Well, you only get one per game, but you know.
The hot dog king, Abe Froman.
Yeah.
Sausage King of Chicago. Give me the Sausage King of Milwaukee, the Hot Dog King of Milwaukee. We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Still much more to get to as the show wraps up after this.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN. Immediate live show streaming. A homepage customized just for you. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN.
It isn't fair to just say they need to put pieces around Jordan Love in order to get to the Super Bowl, but it will also help if Jordan Love plays up to his potential.
The ESPN Wisconsin app. Everything in the palm of your hand.
Just going back to it's fine just doing it the Goody way and growing young and growing together.
Available in the Apple and Android App Store. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today.
Bev Anderson has a big idea she wants to share.
Bev has been here for 24 years.
Hi, Bev. We're anxious to hear your idea.
Kessler's is 45 years old this year. Monica, remember when your dad used to say in every radio ad, "I'm Richard Kessler, and I want to be your jeweler"?
I never got to hear that.
Yeah, and then Rick would say,
Kessler's Diamonds, inconveniently located on Appleton Avenue, Menominee Falls.
Inconveniently?
Richard said it was inconvenient for people to have to drive all the way to Menominee Falls, so he might as well admit it.
Bev, tell us your idea.
Richard said something else in almost every ad, and I think we should start saying it again because it's really important.
Tell us.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
I love that.
Fantastic idea, Bev.
Kessler's Diamonds.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Turn your driveway into the basketball court of your dreams with Precision Sports, Southeastern Wisconsin's dealer for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator hoop systems. From installation to customizable painted court lines, Precision Sports is a slam dunk. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
Whether tailgating or hosting at home, don't serve boring, bland food. As the official grill of the Green Bay Packers, Pit Boss brings the heat with a wide range of wood pellet grills, smokers, and hardwood pellet fuel. Reach another level of flavor that can't be achieved with a charcoal or gas grill, and it's beyond easy. Seriously, Pit Boss grills get cooking with just a few simple steps. Grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, char grill, barbecue, and direct flame sear. The all-in-one Pit Boss does it all. Learn more today at pitboss-grills.com.
It's party time at Cousins Subs. For a limited time only, Cousins 2-foot party subs are back. Choose from the ham and provolone, Italian special, or turkey. Each party sub is just $39.99. Feeds 5 to 8 people and requires 24-hour notice to order. And now you can complete your party by adding a party chip bag and a dozen chocolate chip cookies for just $4.99. Order today in store, online, or on the app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Postseason dunks, threes, buzzer beaters. There's so much NBA happening. I gotta keep up.
Whoa, take it easy there. There's a better way to NBA.
all playoffs long.
Wait, really?
With the NBA app, you get real-time stats and scores for every playoff matchup. Witness playoff drama as it unfolds.
Seriously?
Catch every bucket all in one place, all for free.
Where have you been all my life?
There's a better way to NBA. Download the app today. Available on the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
I feel so stuck.
The Veterans Crisis Line is here for you. Dial 988, then press 1 to call.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
So you mentioned Super Bowls and parties and how they don't go hand in hand, which again is an absurd comment by you two, but it's just one of many on the show.
Dumber thing that Chewy has said this morning. Super Bowls and parties don't go hand in hand, or cheddar is not a top 10 cheese.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Here we go.
There's a winning magic powering up at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This April, prepare for an exciting quest to $300,000 in the Enchanted Spins slot tournament. Conjure your rewards card, play your favorite slots, and earn drawing entries. Every Thursday, 60 winners will compete for thousands in cash and prizes. So let your journey begin with Enchanted Spins. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play. Joshy, did you say you spent a little bit of your Easter Sunday at the old Potawatomi?
And when I said a little bit, I was there for about 5 hours.
Oh, you spent the whole thing.
Much of it. Yes, it was a great thing to go do. You can, go eat we all had our lunch. And then we hit the slots, hit a few tables, played a little video poker. I, of course, had some adult beverages. It was probably one of my favorite Easters because you just got to do what you want. You kind of, every so often, you said, hey, how you doing over here? You up, you down? And then you move on and live your life. It's been fun. Did I win? No, I got smoked.
Yeah. And yet it still didn't affect your good time.
I had a good time. I'm not going to the casino, especially playing the slots, I'm not like, oh, I need to win money. It's like, whatever. I set it aside. This is how much I'm willing to lose. Once I lose it, I will then watch and have myself some drinks.
I also say it's like anything else. You got entertained for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Like, what does that cost generally?
Yeah.
Did you just sit at slots the entire time? Did you mix it up? Any table games? Wander over the sports book? Sprinkle anything down there?
I did go into the sports book. Did not sprinkle anything. I just watched some Brewers there, because why not? The best place.
Should have taken the over for stolen bases yesterday.
Yeah,
9 franchise record.
Who saw that coming, man?
6 in the first inning.
There was a point where the Brewers took a lead, and I kind of stopped paying attention, and then looked back up and said, "This game's still going? Like, what's going on here? They're winning by more."
Save some runs for the rest of the month. Rest of the month, gang. I want to check out the polls this morning. We put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll. You can always weigh in on our polls every single day on our Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter account. How many perfect weather days do we have here in Wisconsin? Chew, it's going to shock you, but our loyal listeners think that we've got 25 or more. 40% of people say you got 25 or more perfect days here in Wisconsin.
Might be a little high.
Yeah,
to me, it only matters is on the weekend. Right?
Moving the goalposts. Classic moving the goalposts.
Your life is a weekend.
At least from 9:01 on.
Sometimes starting at 7:01.
And the other poll we put on there was, how much time are you willing to wait at TSA before getting frustrated with the wait? Very good way of phrasing that, Josh, because yes, you will wait until you get through to go to your destination. But what do you kind of anticipate? What do you like? This is what it should be, right? How do we match expectations here? 10 to 20 minutes. 40% of people. Now, I bet a lot of those people are going through General Mitchell International Airport.
We're in Milwaukee. We're not used to waiting for anything in Milwaukee. Come on. Just fly through security there.
Although what's weird is that 22% of people said 30 minutes or more.
Oh, forget about it.
All or nothing, 1 or 0, apparently. Wilde and Tausch is next on ESPN Milwaukee. Have a great one, everybody. Holy
we got a new accident now on 94 eastbound, just past 25th Street. It's actually a disabled vehicle that is partially in the right lane. So that's going to be causing some issues. We got delays coming in from 84th Street. Northbound on 43, right around the North Avenue curve, you'll start to slow down all the way up towards Keefe. Northbound 41, still a hefty ride from Blue Mound Road all the way up past Hampton. A lot of that has to do with road work. And then we have another accident on the ramp from 76th Street to 894 eastbound. Delays going through the Hale interchange to that point. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, isolated showers early, then very windy. Some sun later on with a high of 54. Tomorrow, mostly clear, not as windy, a low of 39. Weather is brought to you by Avondale Roofing. Raise the roof and your standards with Avondale Roofing, your trusted partner for over 30 years. Remember, they get on top so you don't have to. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5.